presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Sun.
Last night, a pitcher's duel at the Trop. Chris Archer and Masahiro Tanaka baffled the opposition until Alex Rodriguez solved Archer in the 6th inning, belting a 2-run home run en route to a 4-1 Yankee win. Today, left-hander Matt Moore goes to the hill, looking to get back on the winning track. Welcome to a Saturday afternoon of Rays baseball. We greet you from Tropicana Field. The homestand continues with the middle game of the series between the Rays and the New York Yankees. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Rays baseball with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you looking in. Well, the Rays have dropped 6 of their last 7, dropping last night's game 4-1. They're looking for some measure of consistency. And at the top of the lineup today, you're not going to have to look far. And Brandon Guyer, he goes into this game leading this lineup in batting average, in slugging percentage, and in on-base percentage.
And you know, is it the chicken or the egg with Brandon Guyer? Was it the production that led to the increase in playing time, or the increase in playing time that has led to the production? All I know is if you go back to the beginning of this month, Brandon Guyer has been lights out. A .321 average. The on-base percentage is at .400. And it hasn't been a bunch of dribblers finding holes. I mean, he's been doing some damage with the extra base hits. 14 out of his 25 hits have gone for extra bases. He's been driving runs in, 8 multi-hit games. And guess what? With runners in scoring position where the Rays have struggled in this time frame, Brandon Guyer at .500.
Where the Rays are really looking for consistency is in the starting rotation. Matt Moore started the year with 3 pretty good starts. The last 6, they've been hot and cold. We'll take a closer look at Matt Moore on the hill through the eyes of Todd Callis.
Warm-up pitches under the watchful eye of his pitching coach, Jim Hickey. The Yankees and the Rays getting ready on this late Saturday afternoon. Go back to the end of last year. Final half dozen starts for Matt Moore were really good after his stint in the minor leagues. Then he carried that over the first 3 starts this year. But beginning April 22nd, last time he faced the New York Yankees, things haven't been as good over the last 6. When you look at the breakdown, the team was 3-0 in his first 3 starts, 0-6 in his last 6. Fastball command has been an issue. Overall command has been an issue. As you can see, the strikeout to walk ratio much different in the last 6. We caught up with Matt Moore and asked him where he is looking to improve.
You know, everything kind of does go off of fastball command, and when I am, able to get that in the zone quality, even if my off speed is a little bit less, usually seems to get the trick done. Yeah, I definitely expect more of myself, especially the last 4. I know that there's more in the tank when I'm leaving the game, and I also know that there's higher quality of stuff to come out when I am in the game. So, what I say, I was satisfied, no doubt. Am I sure that I can do much better?
So he's looking to have a good start today against the Yankees and Michael Pineda. We have 3 minutes and 45 seconds until the first pitch. The Rays and the Yankees. Rays trying to snap this 3-game losing streak at home.
We welcome you back to Tropicana Field. Fans continue to file in for the middle game of this series. Rays now 1-3 against New York. Earlier dropping a 3-game series, 2-1, and dropping last night's contest 4-1. And to the mound goes Matt Moore, the Rays lefty. We'll take a look at the starting lineups for New York, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Jacoby Ellsbury will again be in the leadoff spot. Aaron Hicks is in the lineup hitting second and playing left field. Carlos Beltran, who homered last night, hits third. The DH, Alex Rodriguez, also homered last night, hitting cleanup in front of Starling Castro, the second baseman. Dustin Ackley again at first. Chase Headley's at third. Didi Gregorius at shortstop hitting eighth, and Andy Romine will bat ninth. He'll do the catching.
Well, I'll tell you what, for Matt Moore, he's already off on the right foot. He came out to Def Leppard, so he's going to have a nice outing already with the choice of the song. But in all seriousness, for Matt Moore, it's the search for consistency. You see his season numbers. We've seen him for stretches where he's been very, very good, but hasn't put together one of those starts in a while. So that will be the key for Matt Moore tonight. Get off to a fast start, get settled in with the fastball command, and let your curveball and changeup then go to work. Let's take a look at the Rays defense and see how it's going to line up behind Matt here tonight. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. In the outfield left to right, we've got Brandon Guyer, Mikey Matuk, and Steven Souza Jr. Across that infield third to first, Evan Longoria, Brad Miller, Steve Pearce, and Logan Morrison with Hank Conger behind the plate.
Well, Matt Moore all set to go to work. Jerry Lane will be calling the balls and strikes. Hunter Wendelstedt at first, Gabe Morales at second, and Pip Gibson, who worked the plate last night, umpires down at third. Matt 5-3 in his career against New York. And the first pitch of this game is taken for a strike. The outside part of the plate. Ellsbury looks at a fastball. Upstairs, 1-1. Joe Girardi, 9th year as the manager of the New York Yankees. Lifted out of play the opposite way, and it's 1-2. Kevin Cash, the Rays manager. He has presided over this club now to the tune of 21 up and 25 down. Starting today, 7 off the pace in the AL East. Liner and a base hit into center off a fastball. Ellsbury's aboard.
You know, that was that fastball that was kind of in middle in the gray area. You know, you want a fastball maybe a little bit further up in the zone to go for the swing and a miss, or the fastball that's away and down to get a ground ball. But this one just stays right kind of in the middle, and that allows Ellsbury to get extension and just keep that ball in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and I guess if you had to settle on one word that was the concern for Moore, and it would be command.
Yeah.
You know, his velocity's been good.
Yep.
You know, it's not a 96, 97 sometimes, but when you compare it with all other lefties going, you know, it's right there. So his velocity's been good, but command of a variety of pitches, and it really begins with the fastball. Hicks fouls it out of play. Switch hitting outfielder, batting from the right side.
Well, yeah, Matt Moore, you know, 51 innings, 16 walks. Not terrible. But it's not about throwing strikes. It's the quality of strike, and it's the command of the strike zone. You know, a strikeout over the middle of the plate, not good. Strike to the bottom corner, very good. And that's what he was looking for to Ellsbury. It didn't quite get it. That one, too.
And a base hit into center. That was the off-speed pitch. And up.
Yeah, and that's why that ball was able to be hit by Hicks. You know, if that's down, that ball's going to get him into the ground, and you got a chance for a double play. Watch Hicks. His body is full. He's out in front, but the ball's up, and that allows him to reach it. At least up for being a changeup. Just kind of lengthen that swing. He uses the middle of the field. And another base hit.
There's 2 men aboard for New York. And it's Carlos Beltran. Beltran hit his 10th home run of the year in their last homestand. He's in double figures, hit one last night. So did Rodriguez. One and one. Here's the home run he hit last night. Came off a fastball in the 8th.
That was a shot. Didn't have a lot of height to it. Line drive. That home run put the Yankees into that grand slam distance, taking that lead from 3 to 4.
And it in. I mentioned the home run he hit on their last homestand. He was just 1 of 11 on that homestand, but it was for his 10th home run to move into double figures. Now with the one last night, 11 on the season, and over the 400 mark for his career. 403 home runs. Two.
Think about the guys that hit the home runs last night for the Yankees. 403 for Beltran, and right there, Alex Rodriguez with 693. That's a lot of dingers.
Ground ball back to the hill. Moore to second, 1. First base, the Rays get them both. Ellsbury goes to third, but Moore on the comebacker starts the double play with Steve Pearce in the middle.
You know, a double play all starts with timing and a good feed. And right here, Matt Moore able to go get that ball turned, make a nice feed to Pearce, and then he's able to do his thing. You know, this is another one of those situations where with the new slide rule, Steve Pearce can hang right in there because you got to stay in front of the bag. Yeah, this was last year. They would have come in so hard on Steve Pearce. That would have been a tough double play to turn.
So 1 pitch, 2 outs. Ellsbury at third. Alex Rodriguez stepping in here. He homered to center field last night. His 6th of the season. Upstairs. Rodriguez last night got a good pitch out over the middle of the plate and hit it back just to the left field side of center. There it is.
Middle of the plate, thigh high. That was a big one too, taking the lead from 1 to 3.
Upstairs. Chris Archer working 8 innings last night. Giving up a couple of home runs along the way. Suffering his 6th loss of the year. Now 3 and 6. That's a strike. Squares the count.
So being able to come with that pitch in that count, what a huge weapon. That was a sharp breaking curveball in a 2-1 count.
This one up and away. So a full count.
What's the confidence level in that curveball? I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
3-2. Well, there you go. A cut to miss. Came back with it. Strikes out Alex Rodriguez with a breaking pitch. No runs. Couple of hits and a man left. Of inning one from Tropicana Field. Rays lineup presented by your Southern Ford dealers with Brandon Guyer leading off, followed by Brad Miller and Evan Longoria. Steve Pearce cleanup. Logan Morris at fifth and Steven Souza Jr. in the sixth spot. Corey Dickerson the DH. Mikey Montauk hits eighth and center, and Hank Conger does the catching, batting ninth.
Well, and for Michael Pineda, taking the mound here this afternoon for the Yankees has been feast or famine. 4 of his 9 starts, he's given up 2 earned runs. 4 of 9 starts, 5 earned or more.
Guyer comes out swinging and fouls the fastball out of play. And the first inning has been an issue for this right-hander, Michael Pineda.
I mean, early in games, first time through the lineup, and I mean, it's dramatic. There you go. And big-time damage, 5 homers.
And Guyer hit by the pitch, a fastball. For the 14th time Guyer is hit by that pitch. He had no chance of getting out of the way of that one.
No, he didn't have to work for this one. Right on the backside. Look how close he is to the plate. Now, he's right up on top of the plate, but that still gets behind him.
It's the 4th man Pineda has hit this year. And for the 14th time, Guyer takes a base after being hit by a pitch. Brad Miller. It's fouled out of play for a strike. Guyer draws the peg. I'll tell you, Guyer is on track to, if he doesn't equal Ron Hunt's single season mark or surpass it, he's got a chance to come really close.
Oh, he's getting a lot more playing time. You know, you can't take him out of the lineup. He's on base too much. He's been too productive. So he's going to get opportunities. You know, the thing that's impressive about him too is he crowds the plate. You know, you see that stride foot goes right to the front corner of the batter's box. No padding, no protection. He knows he's going to get hit. Sometimes he'll, I want to say, work to get hit, but he's not going to give up any ground, that's for sure. And he just does it naked.
Well, he says he has a pretty good pain tolerance, and I guess he must.
You had better.
2-1 to count on Miller. That's a base hit up the left field side. Guyer will go to third. Hicks with the throw back to second. Miller arrives there standing up. Second and third with nobody out.
How about the job by Brad Miller? Taking that pitch, not trying to pull it, just inside out and shoot that ball the other way. You get a base runner, look at him just go right out there and hit that ball the other way. He's got plenty of room to work with, slaps it right by Headley, and the Rays are in business.
Well, a big opportunity to continue Michael Pineda's first inning nightmare. And Evan Longoria will step in here with a chance to put the Rays out in front early. Strike one.
You know, for Pineda, the issue in that first inning has been command too. Look at the way this inning has gone. You know, second pitch of the game to Brandon Guyer is a fastball that's, for all intents and purposes, behind him. You know, then all of a sudden, Brad Miller does a nice job of hitting, and you're in immediate trouble.
High fly ball back into left. Hicks will go back near the track, making the catch. Guyer tags, he heads to the plate, and the Rays lead 1-0. Longoria driving in his 21st run. Miller remaining at second base.
Came right back with that slider, and Longoria was able to get underneath it. That was one of those pitches you had a feeling that Evan was looking for that, Comes right back again, trying to break it down in a way it stays middle of the plate. That allows him to get down and underneath it and get it deep enough to plate the first run.
So a run home, 1 out, and the Rays still have a man in scoring position. Longoria driving in Geyer after Geyer had been hit by a pitch to start the inning. Well, here's Steve Pearce, whose last at bat last night was a 10-pitch at bat that resulted in a home run. He's 3 for 10 against Pineda in his career, and one of those hits a home run. First pitch, a strike call by Jerry Lane.
That came earlier this season. You know, Pineda's already started against the Rays back in April. Gave up 7 earned runs in 5 innings, 4 home runs.
Pearce lays off. Well, here's Pearce matching up against Pineda at Yankee Stadium and sending that one into the stands. One of his 8 home runs this year. A little tapper foul, 1-2.
You know, let's take a quick look at the Yankee defense while we have a second. Brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. They're going to line up this way in the outfield, left to right. Aaron Hicks, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Carlos Beltran across that infield, third to first. Chase Headley, Didi Gregorius, Starlin Castro, and Dustin Ackley. Austin Romine behind the plate.
Long look by Pineda and too long for Pearce, who was granted time by Jerry Lane.
Well, here's the thing. For the most part, Pineda to right-handed hitters is fastball sliders. You don't have a whole lot to pick from.
There's a liner into left, a base hit. Miller will advance to third. He's going to have to stop there. Throw comes through, but stopped by Romine. First and third.
You know, you talk about a guy who really puts himself and paints himself into a corner. Michael Pineda against right-handed hitters, and even for lefties for that matter, he is fastball and slider primarily. So when you're down to 2 pitches and you're going to try to go through a lineup 3 times, you have to be precise with your command. I mean, they have got to get to their spots. You leave them out over the plate, they're going to get blistered. And you don't have a whole lot to choose from. That's the arsenal of a guy coming out of the bullpen to see 3 or 4 hitters.
And he's throwing more pitches per inning this year than at any point in his career. So they're getting not only a limited look, but a lot of looks at a limited repertoire. Now Logan Morrison takes a strike. Fastball to start.
You know, that changeup really is used so infrequently that you dismiss it. You know, it's not a weapon for Pineda. So you're going up there, fastball, slider, looking fastball, react to the slider because the break on that pitch is not huge. One of the changeups. And even that pitch, it's not a huge difference from the fastball. You're talking 94 to 89.
It's a 1-1 count.
It just puts such a premium on precision, control, and command.
Little number, third base side. Going to be a tough play. No play anywhere, and the Rays going to run. Miller crosses the plate. Headley was back at third. Pushed toward the shortstop spot with a left-handed hitter, Morrison up. And Logan gets an infield hit and a run batted in.
A swinging bunt. Here's Chase Headley. There's a lot of room right here that you are not accounting for at all with Logan Morrison at the plate. And he just nubs it. That's a payback for earlier in the season. You get an RBI out of it too.
2 runs home with 2 men on and 1 out. See the frustration in Pineda right there. Larry Rothschild spending some time on the mound. The Yankees talk it over. And Steven Souza Jr. about to step in. The Buick GMC big matchup, and I'll say big matchup indeed. 6 of 12 with a double and 3 home runs for Souza Jr. against Pineda.
I like the odds.
Yeah, you would love this guy to lead off against Pineda.
With Pineda having given up 5 home runs in the first inning of all games this year, I mean, I would have led off with Souza Jr., then gone Dickerson. Let's see who else. Pierce after that.
Yep.
I'd have just taken all my top home run hitters and just run them right through there.
The Rays have one of those up here now with a couple of runners on, only 1 out.
You know what, though, Dwayne? If you go by position number, the Rays did start their lineup out 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. That's kind of cool.
This one is down. And the other way to look at that, Souza does come up with 2 men on base now.
And I think that's
a bunch in a hurry.
Yeah, that's what Kevin Cash is thinking about. Get some guys that can get on base in front of your boys that can knock it out of the park. And they've been doing an awful lot of that this year.
A little bit wide. Fastball out there in the mid-90s. 2 balls and a strike. There's Corey Dickerson on deck. Souza misses that one to run the count to 2-2. Yeah, you look at these pitches. I mean, he can get fastball mid-90s, but sometimes he's 93 with that. The slider can be 87, 88.
Right.
Changeup 89.
Right.
All right there.
That's it. Look at the bunch. You know, let's go the high end, 94 to 86, 87. You're talking, you've got 3 pitches within 7, 8 miles an hour of each other. That's why it goes back to you have to be able to dot to pitch like that. Very little separation in pitch speed. That's it right there. That's the best you're going to get out of him, really, is 10. 3 pitches bunched up. And oh, by the way, one of them I very rarely even throw.
More and more it comes down to truly a game of percentages, and that goes right back to percentage. A full count and time granted again by Jerry Lane. A 27-year-old right-hander out of the Dominican Republic, Michael Pineda. Rays trying to build a big first against him. Ground ball short. Gregorius to second. Over to first. Safe there. Out at second as Pierce goes to third. And Souza beats the play at first.
You know, it won't look like it in the replay, but everything in the middle of the infield for the Yankees took too much time. Starlin Castro not showing a whole lot of. Yeah, you gotta understand, you know, who's hitting the baseball. Steven Souza Jr. long stride, can cover a lot of ground rather quickly, and that should have been a double play ball. Should have been close, but the hustle of Souza Jr. beats it out.
Yeah, Souza Jr. was showing the sense of urgency there.
That's exactly right. He showed it. The middle infield for the New York Yankees did not, and that's why this inning continues.
And it will give Dickerson an opportunity to swing the bat against Pineda. That's the ball. 7th man to come to the plate in this inning. Dickerson with a home run off Pineda in 3 at bats. It's fouled back, 1-1. Rays scored 5 off Pineda in the first inning at Yankee Stadium near the end of April. Dickerson hit a 2-run home run. All of that came, by the way, with 2 outs. He got the first 2 men, and then the Rays proceeded to come up with 6 hits. 2 of those home runs by Dickerson and Souza Jr. and put up a 5-run first. They went on to win that game 8-1. They lead 2-0 right now. And a base hit the other way. Here comes another run. Pierce crosses the plate, and it's 3-0. Well, Dickerson takes that one the other way. And that's a continuation of what we saw Thursday in the Marlins series when he went 3 for 4, 3 singles.
Well, he likes the ball down, and this certainly was down, and it was away. Not a bad pitch by Pineda. A better job of Corey Dickerson understanding how he's been being attacked lately. Down and away, and then go ahead and take that ball into left field right off the end of the bat. Continues the inning, plates another run.
Yeah, that's a great approach. That was encouraging. The one thing that came out of that game against the Marlins that day when the Rays lost 3-1 was his approach and the at-bats that Dickerson put together. Here's Mikey Matuk. Fouls the fastball right back. Fastball out over the plate in the mid-90s.
Well, you know, Michael Pineda, you know, we talked about his command, and where it really, you know, stands out is that just in his walks. You know, he's got 15 walks already this year in 49 2/3 innings coming in. Last year, what was it, 21 total?
Yeah, he walked 21 total in 160 2/3 innings.
There you go. The quality of strike was better. He works quickly, throws a lot of strikes, there's no question about it. But this year it's been far too often like the first pitch to Mikey Matuk. The fastball for a strike, but it's out over the heart of the plate.
Yeah, and he's out there on the mound having conversations with himself right now in the first inning.
Yeah, we've talked about when you get a hitter talking to himself, how that really, you know that you're doing your job as a pitcher. Well, vice versa.
And he strikes out Matuk. 8 men come to the plate for the Rays. They put up 3 and lead 3-0. Baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By St. Luke's Cataract and Laser Institute. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology, when cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife. Rays are the 3 spot in the first as Michael Pineda's first inning woes continue. Starling Castro leads off against Matt Moore in the second, and the pitch is down. Fastball, 1 ball, no strikes.
Boy, what a nice gift for Matt Moore. Give up 2 quick hits to start the game off, get out of that inning. Your offense rewards you with 3 and allows you to go out and be aggressive.
1-1 to count on Castro. It's 2-1.
It's the second time we've seen that, falling behind a hitter 2-1 and being able to come back with a curveball and get back to even. Does not go unnoticed by that Yankee dugout either.
Ground ball short, picked up by Miller. Let's throw in time to get Castro. So the first man retired in the second inning. Well, Moore's last outing against the Marlins, he had first inning difficulties there. Gave up a couple of hits to start the game, as he did today. He went on to give up 3 runs in that first, 5 total in 5 innings. But today, after giving up singles to Ellsbury and Hicks, he got a double play ball.
No, the whole key to that double play ball was the way that he bounced off the mound and charged it. Charge ground balls like that, Dwayne. That's how you make plays.
Sometimes you got to go get the ball, and he did.
Listen, I've been on teams where you've been taught to charge every ground ball. Go get it.
Yourself into trouble that way.
Yeah, it leads to some high air innings, no question.
Fly ball left field. Geyer right there waiting. 2 gone. A ground ball and a fly ball. 2 up, 2 down. Chase Headley, switch hitting third baseman. Headley got off to a slow start at the plate and turned 32 the first week or so of May, and was swinging the bat much better since then. Sends a popper down the right side. Morrison's going to chase it, but that's out of his reach. It's a strike. Headley against left-handed pitching, hitting 155. There's the breakout, the splits on Headley, left-handed and right-handed.
Yeah, that's something that we see an awful lot of. The switch hitters a lot of times better from the left side.
There's one just deflected off the glove of Longoria for a base hit. Geyer returns it to the infield.
You know what? You pull guys around and you punch one through on the ground, you've got to hit it hard, and that's what he did. One hop and a dive, and it's just off the end of the glove. But you wonder if these guys where they have those splits like that consistently, do you start to think, you know what, maybe just go left-handed?
The interesting thing about him, because he was struggling early, he hit .283 against left-handed pitching last year.
Yeah.
.247 against right-handed pitching. Just the opposite so far this year.
Yeah. It always makes you think about Pablo Sandoval. They finally said, you know what, forget it, just go to one side. You consistently put up the numbers like that, which obviously not the case with Chase Headley, but with a lot of guys it is.
1-0 the count to Didi Gregorius. It's fouled back. 1-1. Not uncommon to see switch hitters who might have more power, different hitters from one side to the next. Maybe one side more of a line drive hitter and the other side more pop, more power.
It gets goofy. I will tell you that much.
Runner takes off. The pitch is a ball thrown down. Is not going to be in time. And Headley, realizing that Moore really didn't pay him any attention, took off.
Well, and with the left-handed pitcher on the mound and Matt Moore, high leg kick, he picked the right pitch to go on. You know, we've seen Matt Moore. He does a good job, really, of controlling the running game, and he does that by the slide step. But not thinking that Chase Headley was going to be going anywhere. Let's see, they keep the tag. Oh, he's going to be out for flipping off the bag.
And they want to take a look at it. That's exactly what they're going to do.
Well, listen, if the tag was on him, both feet left the bag at one point. So if the tag was kept on, he's out.
Jerry Lane downing the headset.
Yeah, they're gonna call him out unless they.
Yeah, the Rays have been victimized by this a time or two.
Yeah, that's right.
So they challenge that safe call at second base by Gabe Morales.
Right there, the tag being applied. Now watch that left foot. Comes right off the bag there. Everything is off the bag. The tag is still underneath. It's going to be an out right there, fellas.
And it's going to go into the books as a caught stealing. That's going to end the top of the second inning. So the Rays challenge and get the call overturned. Got credit for throwing out a base runner in the top of the inning. Will lead it off. Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Rays home and away splits. They're trying to get things to even out a little bit more and get a little bit better production at home.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, this is not the greatest place to hit in, but the differential is huge from home and road. But you know what? The Rays have been a good road team for the last, 5-6 years,
they
really.
Have. Yep.
But still. I mean, just
1-1.
Just over 3 runs at home is not going to get it done. You know, this is a building that I would venture to say that most teams don't want to come in and play. You know, you've got, first of all, you're in Florida. You get some distractions, get them out by the beach, get a little bit of a tan, maybe too much of a tan, and then come in here to play ball. You've got to make this a home field advantage.
Well, the Rays coming into this series were hitting 216 at home, and they had outscored their home total 114 on the road to 74 at home. And then dropped last night's game 4-1.
You know, it's maddening because the Rays here the last few games have not been able to put together much of anything offensively. And then you just rewind a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, you think about that series up in Toronto where you're like, is there anybody that can get this team out? It can be a maddening game.
Conger takes ball 3 and the count is full. Rays have scored just 5 total runs in the first 3 games now of this homestand. And then they got 3 in the first. So they're trying to turn that trend around and off to a good start today. Towering fly ball right side. Beltran in right field. Conger's the first out.
Number 5, Brandon Guyer.
The Rays scored those 3 runs, by the way, without a home run. Started the day with 68 home runs, leading the league in that department, 1 short of the Mets for the Major League lead.
You know, it's funny you say that because I was just going to get ready to say we're talking about those 2 different series and all the runs scored and then not so much recently. When your offense is predicated on the home run ball, the long ball, like the Rays has been thus far, with their percentage of runs coming off the home run so high, that will happen.
Yep.
You know, if the home run dries up, you have trouble scoring. So it's always, you know, heartening to see them be able to put together 3 or 4 runs and not have to leave the yard to do it.
That's why, and not just to center on Corey Dickerson, but his approach against the Marlins and then the base hit here the other way, driving in runs. You know, he's going to hit home runs because he's a strong guy. Pierce, strong. He's going to hit home runs given the right set of circumstances.
You know, and a guy like Corey Dickerson, if you're going to work him down and away or away and he starts rifling balls the other way, base hits, doubles in the gap, it's going to force you to have to change that up. Well, now all of a sudden you're going to play in. That's going to lead to the long ball. He'll force you right into his spot where he can get the ball out of the yard. And he's a strong enough guy that if you continually work him away and you leave him elevated, he's strong enough to go to left field, left center.
Full count now worked by Guyer. He was hit by a pitch his first time. You know, 1971, Ron Hunt was hit 50 times. And Guyer 14 times right now. So he's on that track. See another pitch fouling off the 3-2. You know, do you think some of these guys who were hit that often, Ron Hunt, it became almost the norm for him to pick up a pitch he'd been hit by and then throw it back to the pitcher.
How many brawls did that lead to? You know, here's the thing too. Can you imagine what he would look like at the end of a season?
Oh, yeah.
Just the simple math is you're getting hit by a pitch every 3 games, give or take. Okay, I know all the mathematicians will get mad like the bowlers last night, but about every 3 games they get. You know, it doesn't. These hit by pitch, they don't have time to heal in 3 days. So by the time, I mean, you're beat. You look like a Dalmatian.
Guyer sent like a fly ball to center.
You like that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And Ellsbury makes the catch. 2 gone. Well, that's a difference between not wearing all that protection on one side of you. You know, Quick Biggio, for an example, he was hit 285 times in his career, but he was prepared for it.
Maddening facing him.
Yeah.
You know, because he was a guy that had really good plate coverage because he was right on top of the plate. And if you got him down in the count and wanted to move him a little bit, any fastball in with 2 strikes, that elbow would chicken wing out, and he would just take it right off that gigantic pad.
Miller into right center. Beltran has that one skip by him as he tried to make a sliding grab. And Miller's going to go all the way to third. Arriving there, standing up. Triple number 3 for Brad Miller.
You know, that's where the Yankees are limited defensively in the outfield with Carlos Beltran out in right field, because this ball right here, you can see not a whole lot of speed. The route wasn't very good, and then slid, it just never got there.
A 2-out triple. Strike one to Longoria. Well, that's the trade-off the Yankees have. Alex Rodriguez hit the big home run last night, but he's now the DH.
Right.
Beltran's got to play in the outfield.
And think about when Alex Rodriguez, when he was on the disabled list, Beltran was the DH for the most part.
Oh, a shot deep into center. That one is well tagged and out of here. Evan Longoria hits it up on Ducky's deck. Two-run home run for Longoria. Well, he gives the Rays a 5-run lead, and he broke up somebody's lunch out there on Ducky's deck.
The ball wanted to go home, Dwayne. It wanted to go home.
His 9th home run of the year. It all went flying. A 5-0 ball game. Well, you talk about powering one. Rodriguez hit that long home run just to the right of that spot. Now here's Steve Pearce driving one to center field, and that ball is going to be off the wall. In play, Pearce will round second and hold with a double. So the Rays in the last 4 pitches have a triple, a home run, and now a double.
Now too many pitches are finding the heart of the plate with a little bit of elevation, and the Rays have, to their credit, they've not missed them at all. There's another one trying to go down in a way that's on the outer half, but up around the belt. Steve Pearce, strong man, came within a foot or two getting this out of here.
Ellsbury chased it to the wall and then had to chase the carom. For Pearce, his 2nd hit of the day and his 5th double. Larry Rothschild with his 2nd trip of the game out there.
Number 7, Logan Morrison.
So 5 runs, 7 hits for the Rays. Action in the New York bullpen. You get Luis Cessa up. And here's Logan Morrison. And to strike. Morrison drove in a run his first time with the infield hit. One and one. The Rays get the home run from Longoria. His first since he hit the one in Detroit off Michael Fulmer. It was a week ago. Pop foul third base side. Headley toward the stands, and it's going to be out of reach. Well, 2 strikes. Three-run first, 2 now in the second. And Morrison is out on strikes. So the Rays are finished in the second, but they scored twice on a triple by Miller and a long home run by Longo. Evan Longoria's 9th home run of the year up on Ducky's deck. 5-0 Rays. Home run of the year, a 2-run blast, giving the Rays a 5-0 advantage to carry into the third. G.G. Gregorius, the shortstop, leads off the third for New York. He takes the ball. Romine next, and then Ellsbury. Popper. Miller at shortstop, waiting, 1 away.
Well, this is the best thing that Matt Moore can do, and we've seen so far in this game here this afternoon that he's been able to move the fastball around the zone. The curveball, he's felt good enough with that pitch to go with it a couple of times at 2-1 counts to get back to 2-2. And the changeup has been a pitch that's been working for him. So all 3 right now working. Attack the zone. You've got to lead. You don't pitch recklessly, but a lot of quick outs on quality pitches is the prescription for Matt Moore.
Austin Romine takes a strike. Ball, 1 strike. Breaking ball there. Jacoby Ellsbury, the top of the order on deck. It's going to be foul. Romine will return to the plate. This is his 15th start behind the plate. Came into the game with a .277 batting average. Backing up Brian McCann. The base hit the other way. Souza reaching down and eventually makes the pickup. 1 on, 1 out, top of the batting order. Jacoby Ellsbury, Geico, great moment. Ellsbury stealing home. Matt Moore out of the windup, and Ellsbury, noting that, took full advantage of it and swiped home plate.
Well, Matt Moore very deliberate out of the windup. He's got that high leg kick, and he's got hands up over the head.
Ball 1. Popper. Miller's out from shortstop to handle this one. A couple of putouts here in the third by Brad Miller. Runner Romine still at first with Aaron Hicks on his way to the plate.
Number 31, Aaron Hicks.
That steal of home that we showed you by Ellsbury, that's the only steal given up by Moore this year.
And Headley really had that base stolen. And he pops up off the bag, and that makes the opposition just 1 for 4.
Pitch is down. Ball, no strikes. Fouled straight back, out of play. 1. Remember Hicks being with the Twins. Well, he was highly touted by Minnesota, primarily for his outfield play. He can cover the outfield.
Well, and he was the guy that was getting some playing time out in right field while Carlos Beltran was DHing in the absence of Alex Rodriguez.
1-2, curveball. You know, if you put Hicks in right field with Ellsbury and Gardner, they're all at the top of their game. They cover a little ground.
Yeah,
still.
No doubt about it. And Hicks has an absolute cannon for an arm.
Scooped by Conger, 2-2. Yankees put the first 2 men on in the first inning. Ray's got a double play ball. Got out of that when Alex Rodriguez struck out. 1 on, 2 outs here in the third. A 2-2 count to Hicks. With Beltran on deck. Stairs loose with a fastball, and now the count is full with 2 gone. Romine will be breaking on this pitch. Pitch foul, out of play. Fastball, a little something extra on that one from Moore. 3-2 to Hicks, and Hicks fouled it the other way.
And that was about all that he was going to be able to do with it, because that had the potential to be ball 4 up and out of the strike zone, at least according to Fox Tracks.
You saw the range there topping out at 94. Popped up. Right side of the infield, Morrison in from first near the mound. No runs, a hit, the man left. Bottom of inning 3 coming, 5-0 Tampa Bay. Rays lead. Republic Bank Draft Room exclusively for Rays season ticket holders. Blends hospitality and comfort while offering local craft beers and themed signature food items. Tropicana Field's newest destination exclusively for Rays season ticket holders. The Republic Bank Draft Room. Call 888-FAN-RAYS. Steven Souza Jr. swings and misses the first pitch. 50th of the game made by Michael Pineda. Rays have 5 runs, 7 hits off Pineda through the first 2. Souza into right center field. Beltran is there, however, and makes the catch. So 1 out in the 3rd. Let's check in now with Todd Callis. Todd?
Dwayne, last at bat, Corey Dickerson broke his bat. Technically not even his own bat, because the last couple of games he's been using the bats of Steve Pearce. Corey said he swung it in the cage. It felt better. It's a little bit bigger barrel than his own bats, and Corey's so particular about his lumber, but he just decided to stay with the Pearce stick. In the last 3 games, it's been good. But Corey said it's really not about the barrel being thicker, not as tapered. It's about his approach. He says sometimes he thinks too much, and lately he hasn't been thinking about his stance, hasn't been thinking about his hands. He said he's just trying to go up there and relax and not overthink things, guys.
It seems like it's working out for him. He fouls this one the other way, out of play.
You know, that was his concern too with taking over a lot of at-bats from the DH role, is now I'm not out in the field. I take an at-bat. I may not hit again for another 35, 40, 45 minutes, and there's an awful lot of time there to let the mind and the thinking go wild.
Yeah, he'd be better off watching a movie maybe between at-bats when he DHs, something other than thinking about his next at-bat.
No doubt. Dissect everything.
We'll tap out to second, and Castro takes care of that. It's a big adjustment, and for some hitters bigger than others. But when you think about it, that's a great point. And you're right, he's talked about that.
Yep.
Because he's used to playing in the field.
And it's something that typically typically a veteran player acclimates himself to the DH role easier than a younger player. More time in the game, more understanding of what they need to do to get themselves ready. But it definitely is a transition. Used to being out there in between innings, and all of a sudden you just sit there. You know, you've got to stay loose too. You know, out of the field, you go out, you warm up every half inning, you maybe run after a ball here or there if you're in the outfield, and you're definitely moving around. But as a DH, you find yourself sitting a lot, so you got to stay loose, you got to stay mentally sharp, but not too much.
You can see him right there. The wheels are spinning. He drove in a run with a base hit in the first.
As long as they get traction at some point, that's okay.
Yeah. Yep. You know, but if you're playing in the field, you go out there and try not to take that with you to the field, because you've got to pay attention to what's going on there. But if you're not, you know, those wheels turn and spin and do all kinds of things until you're next at bat.
You know what he should do in between innings is he should just go back up and listen to our nonsense, and he wouldn't think anything about his at bat.
Or he could be more confused than ever.
That's a good point.
2-2 the count on Matuk. Throws that bat, pops up. Castro out at second base, makes the catch. 3 up, 3 down, go the Rays. We're through 3, and it's 5-0 Tampa Bay. Rays baseball on Fox Sports Sun, brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by your Southern Chevy dealers. We go to the 4th. Little game of the series between the Rays and the Yankees. Carlos Beltran leads off. Pitch is down, and he checked in time. Hunter Wendelstedt down at first base as he held up. Alex Rodriguez next, and then Starling Castro. Long one to left, down the line, and that ball is out of here. Beltran turns on a fastball and hits his 12th home run of the year. He had won his last time up last night, and that makes it 5-1.
Well, he was cheating for the fastball here. How quickly he got that head out, that ball working its way to the inner half, and he just waylays it right down the line.
2,500 hits now for Beltran. Here's A-Rod. Ground ball third base, and Longoria made a nice pickup on it to get there. Once he did that, had a lot of time with Rodriguez going down the line.
You're right about that. That ball was sharply hit, and it looked like it took a funny bounce on Evan, and he stayed right with it. You know, that's because he puts himself in tremendous fielding position. And when you do that, you account for the bad hop, the ball that comes up on you. See it right there, it kind of comes up over. Looked like it hit a divot out in front of third base. But he's in good position, makes the adjustment, and the nice throw.
You know, defensively quick feet in front of that play, well balanced.
Yeah, didn't charge it.
There's a low liner scooped on the short hop. Miller's throw hops Morrison at first, and he comes up with it.
Well, you know
the
what?
ball's hopping all over the place here.
It is a one-hop play there by Brad Miller, but you know what? That throw was short enough that Logan Morrison, it was a little bit easier than maybe one that's another foot or two. That ball was plenty short. This ball ripped good. Brad Miller, nice glove work. Now come up, make the throw.
Number 29.
Ooh, just never got any extension on it.
Well, that was a great pickup at short, I'm telling you.
It was.
Really nice on a sharply hit ball. Morrison helped out on the other end. Ackley takes a strike.
See Logan Morrison too, and he was able to scoop that ball, and then realizing he's standing right in the baseline, he gave that little hop like he knows he's going to get his backside run up on.
One and two. Two balls, two strikes. 5-7-0 for the Rays. A run, 5 hits, no errors for the Yankees in this game as we play 2 outs into the top of the 4th. Pop foul ball right side. Morrison's after it near the stands. Runs out of room.
Yeah, that's a tough wall to navigate right there. Coming out of the Rays dugout, it's angled. And so you can try to find your way down. No one made the play.
Yeah, one guy had a glove and managed to pick it up once it stopped rolling. A souvenir.
Oh, that glove right there, that's an old school.
I like that one.
That's the kind of glove that in between innings, not the one there, not the Wilson.
Right
that
there.
Gentleman's glove right there, that was the type of glove that was left on the field in between innings.
You know, that's a great thing when you think about the size of gloves and what they were in those days. There's a cut and a miss. Ackley out on strikes. Fastball takes care of him. 5-1 Rays, middle of the 4th.
Rockies 5-1 heading into the bottom of the fourth. Rays second baseman Logan Forsythe is doing more and more in his rehab process to get back on the field after fracturing his shoulder back on May 9th. He took more ground balls earlier this afternoon. He said he felt even better than he did yesterday. He also took a few dry swings. Forsythe said that the next step is he'll take full swings in the cage for the first time on Monday, which is exactly 3 weeks since the injury occurred. He's still targeting that June 10th date for his return, which is when the Rays return for that next homestand.
And Conger leading off the bottom of the fourth, fouling it up the right side for a strike. Boy, it would be great to get Forsythe back in this lineup. And sometime in early June.
Well, he just brings so much to the table. You know, as a hitter, tremendous. Out in the field, very good. You can make a pretty good argument. Most valuable player for this club.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. He's got almost a natural feel for this game, it seems. You know, we get a chance to watch him play every day and develop into a full-time player. And his instincts are really good. A sense of timing.
Yeah. Which, by the way, it's hard to coach that stuff. You have to have a feel for the game, a feel for situations. Know who's running, know the game situation, the score, where am I going to go with this ball? You're going over all that stuff in your head in between every pitch.
Conger drills this one into left center field. One hops to the deepest part of the park in the little triangle, and he has a two-base hit. An extra base hit for Conger to lead off the bottom of the fourth.
That ball was driven to that little angle out there in left center field. His fastball down and away, but look at Hank Conger. Great plate coverage, and watch the finish on the swing. Gets that real drive, finish high, and that ball gets smoked.
Well, that's what the Rays have been looking for from Conger at the plate. Switch hitter, but the left side, the more effective side of the plate. And so he picks up an extra base hit to lead off the inning. And now we go back around to the top of the order. Brandon Guyer. Guyer shoots it into right. This one will be caught by Beltran on a line. Conger back in at second.
And Hank almost ventured too far off his second as he was looking to get a head start, think about scoring a run there. And then that ball caught down around the knees and had to scamper back.
Yeah, that ball had a little sink on it out there, but it stayed up long enough, hit hard enough to carry through the sink and be caught to Beltran.
Well, we saw that triple earlier for Brad Miller, and then Beltran not able to get to that ball. And so now you get a shot out there and you're thinking, maybe this is the next one.
Miller taps it foul. Well, a double and a triple for Miller. 2 for 2 with 2 runs scored. One. Action in the bullpen again for New York. And the pitch is down. 2-1. Nick Goody is up. Three and one. Miller now with 5 home runs, 8 doubles, and 3 triples for the year. Pineda starting to push 70 pitches, 1 on, 1 out in the 4th. That runs the count full at 3-2. See how close that pitch was. I think Miller thought it was ball 4.
I think Miller was right.
Foul into the screen. On deck, Evan Longoria with the long home run in the 2nd inning. And that is a strike call. How about that at bat?
No, that's bad. You know, Brad Miller works himself into a 3-1 count, and 3-2 was a ball, and the strike 3 call was a ball. But Dwayne, this is your guy. It's your wild card behind the dish.
Yeah, you're never quite sure. And that 3-1 pitch called a strike. He thought was ball 4, and the 3-2 pitch called a strike. And so he's out instead of standing on first. Pitch a little wide to Longoria there, 1-0. That's a strange feeling. He was pretty good at bat there. And a professional at bat just didn't work out.
Well, you go back up and look at the video to make sure that your sense of the strike zone is still correct.
Yep.
And you say, yeah, okay, I struck out there, but those were off the plate.
You know, you got a guy in scoring position. That makes it even more critical. There's a base hit, punch through the middle by Longoria. That's going to score the man. Conger crosses the plate. The Rays make it 6-1. Evan driving in his 4th run of the day.
I love that. Love that RBI there by Evan Longoria, because the Yankees, you know, they hit a home run, all of a sudden it's 5-1, and you answer right back. You got to take that back out to a 5-run lead. Another slider. He gets out over the plate with the swing, covers that ball away, and goes right back up the middle.
Joe Girardi's seen enough. He's going to call to the bullpen here with the Rays up 6-1. For Evan Longoria, Logan Morrison has 1. Corey Dickerson has 1. The Rays have built a 6-1 lead, and they chase Michael Pineda from this game in favor of right-hander Nick Goody.
On for the 9th time, 12 1/3 innings, 12 strikeouts. ERA of 2.19.
Steve Pearce 2 for 2. He'll be the first man to face him. And he starts to go checks on the slider. Goody a little backwards at his 2 favorite pitches, fastball, slider, but he's heavier with the slider than the fastball.
You don't see that very often. Usually it's the fastball sets up the slider.
On the count.
In his role, he's going to come in and get, maybe in this instance, he's going to be asked to carry a little heavier workload, but coming in to get 4 or 5 outs, you go out there, and if you're feeling good with that slider and it's a good pitch for you, you have a tendency to want to go to that. You make your way through a lineup a couple of times, that formula typically is not going to work.
And a take by Pearce on a pitch wide. Check swing roller right side. Pearce digging down the line hard. And he's out at first with Goody covering, taking the toss from Ackley. Rays add a run. 6-1 through 4. We go to the 5th, our greater coverage of baseball today, brought to you by T-Mobile. Xander Bogaerts, after Bradley's hitting streak came to an end, Bogaerts continues his. It's now out to 21 games. The Red Sox had a game get away from them today. Toronto won that one in Toronto 10-9 over Boston. Chase Headley leading off the 5th. Ball, no strikes, the count.
And Boston was up big in that game.
Yeah, that was quite a game in Toronto. Bogaerts hit a home run, so did Ortiz. Shaw hit one. And a losing effort to the Blue Jays. 1-2 now. Boston led 8-4 after 7 innings. Toronto scored 4 in the 8th. Boston got 1 in the 9th, and the Blue Jays got 2 in the bottom of the 9th. It's a 2-2 count. 10-9 the final. And on that other note, the Reds having a tough time of it. Cincinnati really struggling. Full count to Chase Headley. And the Reds trailing in Milwaukee in the middle of the 5th inning, 2-1 in their game.
Well, the plus side is they've given up just 2 runs.
Ball 4. Headley draws the first walk to lead off the 5th inning. Moore with a couple strikeouts and now 1 base on balls. Cleveland leading Baltimore 7-1. In the top of the 5th at Cleveland. Gregorius takes a big cut, fouls a fastball back. Rays jumped out to a 3-0 lead, made it 5-0 after 2. The Yankees got a run in the 4th. The Rays got a run in the 4th.
Hey, how about this? Since we're covering some other games here.
Yep.
What about White Sox Royals? White Sox leading that game 7-1 going into the bottom of the 9th, and the Royals put up a 7 spot to win.
How about that?
7 in the bottom of the 9th. You think about a game that's out of reach. You're going to win that ball game in the division, continue the great start that the White Sox have had.
Well, you know, the White Sox had that great start. They're now 27-23. Kansas City's 26-22.
And Cleveland's right up there.
Yep. Montauk takes care of this fly ball for the first out.
That division is all bunched up at the top, and that's why it'll be real interesting to see the fallout from that game. You know, you go on the road and have a lead like that and blow it in the bottom of the 9th, and probably a quick turnaround. Going to play a day game out there tomorrow.
Well, there it is right now. Cleveland at 25-21. They're all virtually tied for first place, with Detroit a game and a half out.
Boy, oh boy. That'll be worth watching.
There's Romine catching this game. He had a base hit. Single into right in the 3rd inning. Yankees have 5 hits. A move to first, close over there. Hunter Wendelstedt on the call said Headley got back in. One and one. Moore 1 on 1 out. He's had a great pitch count today. 67 here in the 5th. Got out of some first inning trouble with a double play ball. And now he misses to Romine. It's 2-1. Side 3-1. Conger steps out in front of the plate. He'll return that ball to Moore. Well, you don't want to start messing with the bottom of the order here. It's been a good day for Moore to this point. Keep it that way. Went out after that fastball.
Yeah, that's a very similar pitch that he hit in his first at bat. It was a fastball a little bit elevated away that he poked into right field. That one he tried to pull. 3-1 count, going to take a big swing. He pulls off of it. And Matt Moore right back in it. Chance to put him away here.
(3-2), and he got it. Breaking ball, 3-2. Picks up his third strikeout.
And maybe the sharpest break of the day on the curveball. Tremendous depth. Look at that. Strike, strike, strike. Start the swing. Oh, no. It's gone.
Yeah, I think that is the best of the day we've seen him throw. You know, he got Rodriguez back in the first inning on a breaking pitch. He threw a couple in that at bat. Probably got strike 2 on a better one, but struck him out anyway. And this curveball to Romine was very good. And now he starts Ellsbury with one and picks up a strike.
Well, we knew early in the game that Matt Moore felt good with that pitch because of the counts that he was using it in. You know, you're going to the off speed, especially a breaking ball. When you're behind in the count as a pitcher, you're feeling pretty confident with it. And that's really how you can, you know, layer yourself. It's one thing to have 3 pitches, but when you can mix them, when you're not predictable. I mean, 2-1, you may get a fastball. Man, he may throw you a changeup or the curveball. You still have all 3 cards available. Makes it difficult for the hitters. Very difficult. They can't eliminate pitches.
He's ahead of Jacoby Ellsbury, 0-2. The pitch around the leadoff walk. We're talking about that Central Division. Cleveland up with a pretty good sized lead right now. If they win that game, they'll move into first by a half game. And that is strike 3 call. Ellsbury called out on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning. We go to the bottom of inning 5 at Tropicana Field, and the Rays hold a 6-1 lead. The Rays and the Yankees move into the bottom of the 5th, 6-1. Rays leading. Logan Morrison will open the bottom of the inning. Morrison, Souza Jr. and Dickerson against Nick Goody. It's foul out of play for a strike. Pineda started for 3 2/3. Goody got the last out in the 4th. One. Pineda this year to the Rays in 2 starts, 8 2/3 innings, 13 runs, 19 hits. Hot shot into right, headed all the way back toward the corner. Morrison on his way to second. Stand-up double. Third double for Logan Morrison. Comes to lead off the bottom of the 5th, and we'll check in with Tom.
All right, Dwayne, tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, Rays wrapping up the homestand. Kids 14 and under get this Velcro catch. Isabella, we've got Isabella, Jonathan, we've got Dylan and Liam. Go ahead and have a catch, you guys. Liam is back here. He's practicing. So this is what's going on. This is like a great learning tool. Dylan with the toss. All right. Hey, I want to talk to. Do you like having a catch with these?
Yes.
Why is it? Is it fun?
Yes.
You look like you have some ice cream cake on your face. Is it somebody's birthday today?
No.
Oh, okay. But go ahead and have a catch, Liam. Go throw it to Dylan. There you go. Stay with it. What a great thing, guys. 14 and under. Tomorrow, Tropicana Field, Velcro catch. It's going to be huge.
We'd love to have those. Take them on the road. All that idle time.
Do you remember the creepy statements I made about that particular giveaway on the last time we were up in Detroit? It got a little out of hand, but here's the bottom line. I went home.
Yes.
Spent some time with the kids.
Yep.
Went out and bought a couple sets of those.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. It's not going to see them, you know. So I had to go buy them. They loved them.
Yeah. All right.
Loved them.
There you go.
So yeah, I would get out and grab some of those.
2-1 to count. Steven Souza Jr. Logan Morrison at second. And a pitch just missing. It's 3-1. Brad Miller in the dugout going, that pitch is a ball. 3-1 now to Souza Jr. Ball 4. And the Rays draw a walk. The first 2 men are aboard. So 2 men on with nobody out. Girardi pops out of the dugout with a pitching change in mind. on Fox Sports Sun is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Rays lead 6-1. Trying to build another inning in the bottom of the 5th inning with the first 2 men aboard. Goody's out of there. Luis Cessa takes over on the hill with Corey Dickerson due up. 3rd appearance for Cessa. Right-hander out of Cordoba, Mexico. Dickerson singled in a run in the 1st. The fastball is up 1-0.
Well, it's fastball, curveball, changeup for Cessa. And the Yankees right now looking for some outs from anybody. He's threatening once again. Nobody out here in the 5th.
It's called a strike, and the count is 1-1. Souza Jr. walked. Morrison doubled to start the inning. He's at second. It's now 2-1. Cessa with that changeup and the 4-seam fastball plays the high-low game.
You better be careful low with Dickerson. You're going to go low. You've got to get it way down there, or he can hurt you. High hands, loves that ball down.
And sends a high popper into shallow center. Ellsbury makes the catch. The fastball up, and Dickerson is the first out.
Center fielder, Mikey Manto.
Mikey Matuk heads to the plate. Cessa was up briefly in April. Back now from AAA, his 2nd stint with the Yankees. Montauk sent it into center field. Ellsbury is there to make the catch. Runners are tagging. And into 2nd and 3rd they go. Morrison to 3rd. Souza Jr. following into 2nd.
Yeah, nice job there by the Rays base runners. Logan Morrison recognizing that Ellsbury was going to get to that. He's going to go back and tag up. Same thing with Souza Jr. And we've seen them challenge Ellsbury in the past, and so that ball deep enough, you just go ahead and move up 90 feet. Now 2 runners in scoring position, and you got a chance to dribble one through and pick up 2 runs.
Well, you've got a left-handed bat to face the right-hander. Hank Conger, batting left-handed, doubled in the 4th inning. He takes the pitch down and in, a breaking ball for ball 1.
Curveball had some bite to it.
That's a strike with that one. It's 1-1. Second and 3rd, 2 away. 1-1 to count to Hank Conger. Pitch wide, 2-1. into the dirt. Walk by Romine. It's 3-1.
Right here, Hank Conger, who doubled the other way in his last at bat with a good count here to work with. Really start to look for one pitch in one spot and turn it loose. Ooh, there it is.
There's a high drive back into right. Beltran to the track. Gone! 3-1 pitch, and Conger turns the fastball around and hits a 3-run home run.
Tell you that's what happens when you nibble. You nibble, you fall behind. Now 3-1. Now you're going to come with a fastball out over the heart of the plate. Exactly what Hank Conger is looking for in that situation. Wow.
The home run by Conger turns this into a 9-1 ball game. Conger showing some prowess with the bat from the left side in the last two ABs. A hard hit double in the fourth and a 3-run home run in the fifth. And there's ball one to Geyer. So 2 runs charged to Goody. And the home run belongs to Sesa. Pitch in on Geyer, popped up. Right side. Ackley in from first to make the catch at foul ground. But the Rays do the damage. They score 3 and lead 9-1. Big offensive day for the Rays. It started with a 3-run first. Corey Dickerson driving in the 3rd run of that inning. Evan Longoria connected for a long home run. A 2-run blast in the 2nd off Michael Pineda. Evans single homer run in the 4th to make it a 6-1 game. 3 more home in the 5th inning. On one swing of the bat by Hank Conger, belting a 3-run shot, and it's 9-1 at the end of 5 here at Tropicana Field today. Conger a double, a 3-run home run, and he's thrown out a base runner. Pretty good day for Conger.
Yeah, just a little over halfway through this ball game. Got some more time. That's what, this game has the feel of that series up in Toronto, where the Rays are putting up big offensive numbers. Not only that, they're scoring. I mean, they had 2 games up there where they scored in 6 out of the 9 innings. Thus far, they've scored in 4 out of 5.
Ball 2 to Aaron Hicks, all in support of Matt Moore, who through the first 5 innings had made 74 pitches, allowing a run on 5 hits with a walk and 4 strikeouts. There's a strike, 2-1.
You know, this has been the Matt Moore from the first 3 starts of the season this year, where he was, you know, 1-0, an ERA of under 3, had a 7-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
Behind Hicks, 3-1. He ran a couple of 3-ball counts in the 5th inning. He went 3-2 to Headley, walked him, 3-2 to Romine, and then struck him out on a great curveball. He's 3-1 to Hicks here in the 6th. Long one to left, down the line, and that ball is a foul ball. Hicks around on that fastball just a bit early.
Straight 2.
Tracked it the whole way and made the play. Now 3-2. Beltran, who's on deck, has accounted for the New York run with a home run to left. That came in the 4th. And there's ball 4. He misses with a fastball. Well, here's what's coming up tomorrow on Rays Live, the pregame show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. We'll be hearing from Jake Odorizzi. Be on the mound tomorrow, and Memorial Day festivities here at Tropicana Field to wrap up this series and the 5-game homestand. The fastball missing to Beltran, 1-0. A home run for Beltran in the 4th inning, giving him a dozen on the year. Behind him. 2 balls, no strikes. Pop up. Morrison in foul territory. It's the first out. After the walk, the Rays retire Beltran. Alex Rodriguez comes to the plate. Struck out, grounded out.
Take another ground ball right here.
Good work to get more through the 6th inning. And making his 10th start. Pitch is fouled out of play for a strike. You get to that double-digit mark and starts into a season, you start to get a sense of perspective. 10 starts in. You take all your turns. You've got something around 20 left. So if you're going to make a move, now's the time to start making that move.
Yep.
Well, to the count.
You know, we referenced Matt Moore. You know, his first 3 starts, he was 1-0. The team was 3-0. And his last 6 starts, the Rays as a team, they've dropped all 6. 0-6 during that time frame. They haven't won with Matt Moore on the mound since the 3rd week of April. And so now you've got an opportunity to get things back on track. He's looked much better here today, much more consistent.
And he strikes out Rodriguez.
But the way that he worked him in that at-bat. You know, strike 1, curveball below, fastball above. That's just a great job by Matt Moore, changing eye levels in working that strikeout.
2 outs following the walk. Ball, no strikes to Starling Castro. Yankees have a run and 5 hits, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. 3 of the strikeouts in the last inning and 2/3. High pop up. Conger away with the mask. Morrison coming down from first. They collide. Conger makes the catch and manages to hold on. Morrison and Conger come together and both walk away fine. Bottom of the 6th coming, 9-1 Rays. One UFC Fight Night returns as 2 unstoppable undefeated bantamweights collide, with Thomas Almeida taking on Cody Garbrandt, plus former champion Heated Barra faces the dangerous knockout power of Jeremy Stevens. All tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. In the bottom of the 6th, Ronald Torreyes takes over in right field. Brad Miller takes the first pitch high. 1 ball to no strikes. One to count. Brad with a double and a triple.
Brad is like, how many times on that pitch? On any pitch out there?
Yeah, he's being very cordial about it.
You know, I wouldn't say anything if I was Brad. I would just go step into the, I'd step right up on top of the plate so you could cover it.
This one too far outside. 2-2. Longoria on deck. Pierce was at third. Pop to the left side. Hicks coming in. 1 away in the 6th. Rays players need your support to get to the 2016 MLB All-Star Game. Go to RaysBaseball.com/vote to submit your ballot for all your favorite Rays players. You can vote up to 5 times every day. Go to RaysBaseball.com/vote now. Evan Longoria Long home run off the bat of Longoria in the second inning, a 2-run shot. Single and a run in the fourth inning. Nobody a run with a fly ball to left in the first. Lifts it into right center field. Reyes, who just entered the game in this inning, makes the catch. A couple fly balls. 2 up, 2 down.
You know, Dwayne, Torres is listed at 5'10", 151. He may be able to get in on some of that UFC action, the bantamweight stuff.
There you go.
Right, stretching it out.
It's a breaking ball into Pierce. Strike 1. Hot shot right to third. Headley makes the catch. Hard hit ball again by Pierce. We're headed into the 7th inning. It's a 9-1 ball game. Rays lead in the middle game of this series. Into the 7th inning. In honor of Memorial Day weekend, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Merging Vets and players dedicated to ensuring our nation's warriors can be as productive off the field as they were on it by joining combat veterans with former athletes to form a common bond over dedication and teamwork. Visit foxsportssupports.com to learn more. Justin Ackley's at the plate, takes a strike. The 7th inning is underway. Taylor Motter in the game for the Rays, down at third base. Chopper foul. Into the seats it goes. Souvenir. Ackley has hit a fly ball to left and has struck out swinging as Matt Moore begins the 7th inning. And a foul tip strikeout. Fastball up. Records the strikeout swinging.
Well, when Matt Moore is effective, he can take that fastball up in the zone like that, present it well up around the shoulders so you see it good and just can't get there. And today he's been able to take that curveball down below the zone. So he's been able to play both ends of the strike zone.
5 of the last outs recorded by Matt Moore have come on strikeouts. He has 6 today. And a strike on Chase Headley. Popped up, Pierce and now Miller, and it falls between the two of them. Well, they had a difficult time tracking it, deciding who was going to grab it, and it fell right between Pierce and Miller.
Yep, miscommunication. I mean, this ball's up there seemingly forever, and I think Steve Pierce right there is thinking that he's getting called off. Brad Miller thinking that Steve Pierce was buried underneath it and was going to make that play, and Matt Moore thinking about covering second base.
Well, it's going to go as a hit. It's always a tough hit for a pitcher to give up. He had the pop up from Headley. Now Gregorius takes the ball.
Well, that was an outcome that never even crossed your mind.
Nope. Gregorius put that back leg out of the way and almost did the splits.
The ball was tracking in off the plate. Pretty good velocity.
Upstairs.
You don't want the frustration here to boil over and start to affect the performance going forward. 3 bad misses here by Matt Moore.
Yeah, we talked about this before, and you know exactly what it's like. When you're pitching, you have to be in that exact moment. You can't be in the past or anticipating the future. You got to be right here and now.
Yeah, and that can be at times a lot more difficult than you'd like it to be. And that's a case where, you know, Matt Moore makes that pitch to Headley. He gets the pop-up. He immediately is starting to think about Didi Gregorius and what he's going to do with him, because that ball's going to be caught. And then all of a sudden you turn around, there's a miscommunication, ball drops in, it's a single, and things can get a little haywire. That's why Jim Hickey's out there right now trying to calm the situation down.
It has been a good day. 97 pitches right now. This really is the kind of outing the Rays were looking for, and Matt Moore was looking for.
Yeah, you know, we saw Matt Moore be able to use the fastball to pitch out ahead. When he did fall behind, he did not get predictable. We talked about the curveball, his ability to throw that when he's behind in the count, to be able to finish guys off with it, go below the zone, above the zone. He's pitched in, he's pitched out, and so far has put together a nice line. 1 earned run in 6 1/3. Getting deep into games, something that Kevin Cash has been talking about, putting a premium on the starters, eating up quality innings.
Well, twice this year he's gone 7 and seemed positioned to do that here. Romine takes the pitch for a strike. Well, you know, he got a big double play ball that helped him in the first after the first 2 hitters, Ellsbury and Hicks, reached. It'd be great to see the double play ball here to get him through the 7th. And say, boy, it's been a great day.
And I'd like to see that double play ball involve the middle infielders. You know, a 6-4-3 or a 4-6-3.
1-1 to count. Ground ball foul outside of third. Romine had a hit, a single off a fastball in the 3rd. And then the 5th inning saw Moore go to 3-2 with him and strike him out swinging on a 3-2 curveball. He's 1-2 with him in the 7th. Two and 2. Just over 100 pitches. Matt made 110 pitches against the Yankees in New York on the 22nd. The 22nd of April. 2-2. Ground ball right side, but through. Headley will cross the plate. Gregorius stops at second. Didn't hit it hard, but boy, just perfectly positioned from the New York point of view.
Well, Steve Pearce was shading up the middle, so that right side was open. You see where Steve Pearce is behind the umpire, and that hole is wide open.
Makes it 9-2. Gregorius at second. Romine aboard with the run batted in, his second hit.
Both of them to the right side.
The hitter is Jacoby Ellsbury. That's a strike. Ellsbury 1 for 3. 2 for 15 in his career against Matt Moore. The count advances to 0-2. Six strikeouts for Matt. Put up 3 walks, 1 in this inning. 7 hits total, 2 of them in this frame. Two-strike pitch. Ground ball outside of first. Foul. Yankees won the first game of the series last night, 4-1. Rays hold a 9-2 lead today. Too close to Ellsbury. Fastball, that one in there at 94.
Well, the way that Matt Moore's been pitching here this afternoon, he can go back up again with another fastball, or he could use that up fastball to set up the curve down. Got a couple different avenues to go here, and I think that see Conger may want this to be a curveball down. You see him keep tapping the dirt.
Ground ball through the left side. Bases are going to be loaded. Geyer got to the ball at short left. Gregorius stops at third. They're loaded with 1 out.
Well, I think Hank Conger was pounding the down there. Want that fastball down and away. And Ellsbury went with it, making sure to see Hank Conger.
Bases loaded. The hitter is Aaron Hicks. You saw Jim Hickey on the phone to the bullpen, where Eddie Romero has been loosening. That's a strike.
Yeah, I've seen hitters or catchers do that before. If they think the hitter is kind of tuned into them, you know, you'll hit that ground to try to give them the impression that you're going to go breaking ball. Like, hey, you're telling the pitcher you want a breaking ball down, because a lot of times that's what you do when you're going off speed and then try to sneak the fastball by him. I'm not sure what the case was there, but it didn't work out for the Rays.
1-1 to Hicks. We have Pitch number 110 about to be made. This will equal his high pitch count in a single outing this year. Tapper foul. 1-2. Yankees now have 8 hits. A 1-2 count on Hicks. And a cut in the miss. He went up to strike him out with a fastball. So Matt Moore strikes out Aaron Hicks. That's the second out of the inning. And with that strikeout and 111 pitches, that's going to be the end of the day for Matt Moore. New pitcher coming. Pitches a season's high, 6 2/3, 8 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks and 7 strikeouts, and leaves with the bases loaded, all his responsibility. Turns it over to Eddie Romero, who faces Ronald Torreyes, and the pitch is pop back foul, out of play, strike 1.
And that line for Matt Moore actually deserved a better fate than that to this point. He's still responsible for these runners, but you think about the miscommunication on the pop-up that cost him an out.
One and one now. Erasmo Ramirez up in the Rays bullpen. Upstairs. 2-1. Reyes, 23 years old, out of Venezuela. Originally in the Cincinnati organization, and he, to be just 23, has made a number of stops with a number of different organizations. Romero, this is low. 3-1. That's a strike. So the count is full.
Borderline pitch. Watch Hank Conger, the way that he receives it right in the edge of the glove. Keep the meaty part of the hand on the plate and up, and he catches it right at the tip of the glove. You can see the ball sticking out right there. That was a nice job by Hank Conger on a close borderline delivery there by Romero.
3-2, way wide, and that's going to force home a run. Romero 3-2, reaching back and missed the strike zone there. And it's now 9-3. Bases still loaded. That run is charged to Matt Moore's account. Jim Hickey goes to the mound. Alex Rodriguez due up. The last outing for Romero was a third of an inning Tuesday in Miami against the Marlins. He gave up 3 hits and a couple runs, including a home run. It's the third of an inning Monday and gave up a hit but no runs. Now he faces Alex Rodriguez. Yankees with 2 runs in, the bases loaded. Alex Rodriguez stepping back. Well, he's had quite a career in these situations. 25 grand slams. Strike one.
Hunting for the fastball, and that's why Eddie Romero drops the breaking ball in pitch number 1 and gets the jump.
One strike pitch, foul back. Fastball that time, with a little extra on it. 98. Conger trots to the mound. Well, there's a little drama here now in what was a 9-1 game. It's now 9-3, and the Yankees have loaded the bases. All of those add-on runs come in handy.
And that's why you never take the foot off the gas pedal.
A 2-strike count. Way wide again, reaching back and missed by quite a margin.
Try to overthrow. You try to hump up. You're going to try to elevate the fastball. And all that causes is a little bit of an overthrow. At least you were in a count where it doesn't really hurt you. You can come right back in and make a quality pitch here, up 1-2. And another visit.
Yeah, Romero signaling to Conger. Romero feeling the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of thinking going on right now. Maybe too much.
He got it. Struck him out with a fastball at 98. Yankees leave the bases loaded. They scored 2. Eddie Romero gets the strikeout, and will go into the 7th inning stretch with the Rays leading 9-3.
Into the bottom of the 7th inning, but anxious moments here. Bases loaded. Alex Rodriguez in the top half, starting him off with a slider. That sends a message right there. Not going to be predictable. Then a fastball down in the zone. 0-2. Climbed the ladder. A little bit of an overthrow, and then after a quick visit with Conger, he gets that one where he wants. It gets the swing and a miss. A big strikeout for Eddie Romero. The congratulations, high fives from the guys down in the dugout, and then this offense looks to go back to work.
On to the bottom of the 7th inning. Strikeout of A-Rod ends the top of the frame. Logan Morrison takes a pitch low. Morrison has 2 hits, single and a double. 2 for 3 with a run scored and a run batted in. Ground ball into short right, but Castro's out there. And he throws him out, so the shift will cost Morrison right there.
The shift has gotten Morrison a few times in this series already. You know, that right there, you know, and that's where you wonder if they count that as the shift getting him, because that was a ground ball to regular second base anyway. And then think about last night, the hard hit balls up the line, that because of the shift, the first baseman plays right on, you know, the first base line. I mean, he's right off the bag and is able to make those plays. I mean, it could drive you crazy.
Steven Souza Jr. swinging through the first pitch.
Well, we've seen him up in Toronto smack that ball the other way and take some hits. You're going to roll all those people over, but Toronto in that case was pitching him away.
1-1, and it seems the pitchers don't always pitch to the shift.
No, and that right there is what is interesting. They are so confident that the hitter will not make the adjustment and go the other way, that they'll play the shift, pitch him away, and know that he'll roll right over into the teeth of it. It's kind of calling out the intelligence of a hitter, which they don't.
Spoken like a pitcher.
Take too fondly of. I mean, I think that's, you know, if you're a guy, your game is built around the long ball, and the teams actually, they want you to try to hit the ball the other way. You think about playing the shift on David Ortiz, and if you want to throw him a fastball down and away and he takes a single to left field, you take that all day because you're not worried about that. You're worried about the extra base hit and the home run. But if you're a guy who's not, the game is not built around power numbers, then you'd be foolish to not work on taking the ball the other way. It's a lot easier said than done, especially if that's not your swing. But if they're going to give you all those hits, take them if you can, especially if they pitch you that way.
Souza called out on strikes, 2 gone in the 7th. Here's Corey Dickerson. Yeah, they use the shift against David Ortiz more than anybody else.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with David Ortiz, you know, he's not a speed demon, so you could play that second baseman. He can be shaking hands with the right fielder out there. So you've got a ton of room. It's very difficult for Ortiz to hit a grounder to the right side and beat it out. He's got to drop a line drive in over the head of the second baseman in front of the right fielder. Just cut down on the areas that he can go. Problem is he can go out beyond the fence and into the stands.
Dickerson missed the 96-mile-per-hour fastball up that time from Souza. It's 1-2 now. Souza is cutting it loose here in the 7th. A 2-2 count. Ground ball, fair. He got it by Ackley and up the right field line. Dickerson into second with a double.
Yeah, the question is how. With the shift being, and Logan Morrison wondering how. He was hurt by this exact play the last couple of nights, but Dickerson, Dustin Ackley, step and a half, a step and a dive, and still not able to get there in time.
It's coming at you.
Well, he got on top of that baseball. You saw the top spin.
27, the center fielder, Mikey Mantra.
Ninth double for Dickerson, his second hit today. Well, Mikey Mantra. Strike a breaking ball. Up the plate, down and away. Up the left side, that's going to be foul. And advance the count to 1-2. Sesa, in the handful of outings he's had for the Yankees, has been heavy with the fastball. He's got a pretty good one.
Yeah, he does. I mean, mid 95, 96. Has some good late run and life to it.
Montook is out on strikes, ball in the dirt. Romine will have to go down to first on the breaking ball. We're headed into the 8th inning. It's 9-3. Rays have 12 hits, 9 runs. They have 8 extra base hits. It's a season's high. They had 8 against the Blue Jays back on the 16th of this month, and 8 against the Yankees in New York on April the 24th. They lead 9-3. Starling Castro leading off the 8th with a strike, facing Eddie Romero. Now it's 0-2.
Boy, how about that breaking ball right there? It's so short, but it's late break, and it's enough to get a hitter just a little bit out in front because you're sitting back waiting for that high 90s fastball pitch.
And he got him looking.
Boy, how about that? That sequence to Alex Rodriguez was impressive. That sequence right there was impressive. And Romero catches him by surprise at the end with the quick pitch fastball.
Well, after walking Torreyes to force in a run, he got Alex Rodriguez on 4 pitches on strikes, Castro on 3 pitches.
And there was that speed up delivery.
And there's a strike to Ackley. One to count. The base hit by Ackley, getting it through the right side. 1 out single. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and even more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. A fastball by Chase Headley, trying to catch up. Strike 1. 1 on, 1 out. We're in the 8th. Another fastball. A little piece of that one foul. 0-2.
Climb the ladder. Climb the ladder. Letter high fastball.
Upstairs. So it's 1-2 with the hard stuff. Again, and he lays off. 2-2.
That's that fine line that you walk. The idea is right. You want to be just above the zone, but not too far above where it's an easy read for Chase Headley. Right in between.
This one is foul back. Xavier Cedeno starts to limber in the bullpen. One on, 1 out, 2-2 the count. And again, after getting ahead, missing up, and up again.
You know, at some point, you know, the way that he fouled off that previous pitch too, that Chase Headley's now just selling out for that pitch. He knows that's what they're going to try and do. See if they switch it up.
Hit on the ground through the hole. Headley has a base hit.
You know, that's where you go to the well one too many times. You know, you told Chase that you got ahead of him, threw 2 fastballs up, came with another one that he was able to foul off. He stayed up there. So at that point, he not only has eliminated the slider in his mind, he's eliminated every location except for the one that's elevated. He's looking in one tiny little area, going to shorten on his swing, and he finds a hole.
Two on with 1 out for Didi Gregorius. He walked in the 2-run 7th and scored a run. And on the check swing, that's a foul strike. Cleveland now leading Baltimore 10-4. That's in the bottom of the 8th in Cleveland. And they have some weather. Covered the infield in Cleveland. Liner, soft liner into right center for a base hit. Ackley's going to score. Men at first and second. So Romero is touched for a run, and it's 9-4.
Number 27, Austin Romine.
Well, this slider right here doesn't have a lot of movement to it. Look at the swing there by Didi Gregorius. Doesn't try to do too much, just kind of cast that ball out into right center field. Just a little flip of the wrist. Doesn't try to do too much. Eats into the Rays' lead.
Well, and a trip to the mound for Jim Hickey. 2 men on. The Yankees left the bases loaded after scoring a couple in the 7th, and now they've scored a run in the 8th. Turned what was a 9-1 game into a 9-4 game. 3 straight hits from the bottom part of the order. Now the number 9 hitter, Austin Romine, the catcher, will be coming up. It's a ball. Yankees now 3 of 7 with men in scoring position. The Rays have gone 6 of 14 today. Romero falls behind 2-0. Two balls and a strike. Fastball by Romine. Headley at second, Gregorius at first. And the count goes to 2-2. Top of the order is on deck, Ellsbury. Two. Romine up the middle, 2 into center. That's going to get Headley across the plate. Gregorius stops at second. And Romine punches one through the middle. That's his 3rd hit today. And don't look now, but it's 9-5. And Kevin Cash forced to make a pitching change. He leaves with 2 runs home in the 8th. And New York runners at first and second, and will give way to Xavier Cedeno.
Now these New York Yankees finding holes right now, and this game has gotten way too close for comfort. Cedeno on for the 18th time. He's got 16 strikeouts and 12 in the third, and needs to stop the bleeding here for the Rays.
This was a 9-1 game at one point, but the Yankees have put up 2 in the 7th and now 2 additional runs in the 8th. They have Gregorius at second, Romine at first, and Ellsbury representing the top of the order. Jacoby Ellsbury on to face Cedeno. And Ellsbury has 2 hits. He was 2 for 4 last night, 2 for 4 today. Ellsbury fouls it out of play. Well, this is now potentially a save situation. Cedeno coming into this game with the potential tying run on deck. Cedeno misses low. 1-1. Cedeno last pitched on Wednesday. He pitched 1 inning against Miami, and in that game made 18 pitches, 17 strikes, striking out all 3. Little chopper by the mound, picked up by Pierce. Throw to first is in time. Rays get it out, the second of the inning. Gregorius advances to third, and Romine moves up to second base. And the way these balls have gotten through the infield, the Rays happy to get it out here.
Yeah, when that ball went over the head of Cedeno, it gets out into that no man's land. The heart rate starts to go north. And Steve Pierce closing ground, able to make the play. Need one more though.
So both men in scoring position now for New York. And the switch hitting outfielder Aaron Hicks steps in. He had a base hit back in the first. And he takes a strike from Cedeno. Hicks also reached in the 6th inning on a walk. 1 for 3. They've retired him on a pop to first and a strikeout. Matt Moore got him with the bases loaded in the 7th inning on a fastball up. He swung through that one. Pops it up, foul. That will carry out a play and advance the count to 2 strikes. And there's Alex Colomé up in the bullpen for the Rays. Nothing else, the Yankees have succeeded in getting the Rays closer up in the bullpen in what at one time was a 9-1 game. Ground ball third. Motter makes the throw to first. A strike across the diamond to retire the side. 2 runs, 2 left. Rays lead 9-5. At the end of 5, we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Rays lead 9-5. Coming up on Rays Live, the post game presented by Checkers. Todd, Doug, and Orestes anchor the coverage. We'll hear the Kevin Cash press conference, and Emily Austin will be along with interviews from the clubhouse. Hank Conger, who has scored a couple of runs. He drove in 3 with a home run back in the 5th. Takes ball 1. All of these runs important, as we can see here in the last couple of innings, as the Yankees just would not go away. We saw Colomé up, and he is joined by Sturdivant. Tyler Sturdivant pitched an inning in yesterday's game. There's a line drive up the right field side and back into the corner. Conger's on his way to second with a 2-base hit. 3 straight hits and all for extra bases for Hank Conger.
Well, take advantage of that changeup. Sesa, he's got that good fastball with that late little life to it, but he has been hurt on the changeup here with the lefties a couple of different times. This one stays up enough. Hank Conger, good pitch recognition, and he gets it down in the corner. A little breakout game here for Hank.
Well, here is Brandon Guyer. He's 0 for 3, hit by a pitch his first time. Shortens on the bat and takes the pitch, ball 1. So that's the 9th extra base hit for the Rays in this game, and that's a season's high. And the bunt by Guyer. Headley's throw to first in time, and they get Conger over to third. Conger at third with 1 out. Guyer bunts him over.
Put a little small ball here, trying to answer, get one of those runs back, and Brandon Guyer put down a nice bunt. You force the third baseman Headley in to field it, and that's going to allow Conger to get over there, get a walk there.
The left-hander Blyer in the bullpen. He was up last inning.
Is that Rocky? R. Blyer?
Yeah. Or Richard.
I was going to say, double duty.
Infield up. And so is Brad Miller, who fouls this one back. Strike 1. Up and away, now 1-1. Rays with 13 hits today. The Yankees have 12. Two and 1. Sesa, the third New York pitcher of this game. See Taylor Motter on deck. It's fouled back, 2-2.
Going with the breaking ball here against Brad Miller, staying away from that changeup. 2 strikes. You can believe right now Sesa and Romine trying to figure out a way to punch Brad Miller out. That's the goal here. Get to 2 strikes, look for the strikeout. Brad Miller just trying to put that ball in play.
And that's down and in, and he tried to check, and Gibson says he went around.
He stayed away from the changeup. There are a lot of sliders in that at bat to the left-handed hitting Miller, And this one down below the zone, and let's check. Boy, that is close. That is close.
The 2 gone here in the 8th with Conger at 3rd. And Taylor Motter, who entered the game in the 7th inning after Evan Longoria had gone 2 for 3 with 4 runs batted in. Motter gets his first at bat. Pitches a strike at the knees. Same 2 teams tomorrow, and our coverage begins at 12:30 on Fox Sports Sun. Wrap-up game of the homestand. Into the dirt this pitch, and Romine blocks it. 1-1. Conger, the runner at 3rd. Upstairs. Pitch a little close for comfort to Taylor Motter. 2-1. Three balls and a strike. These 3 extra base hits for Hank Conger. First time in his career that he has put together 3 extra base hits in a game. And there's ball 4. First and third with 2 outs for Steve Pearce.
Second baseman, number 28, Steve Pearce.
So Steve Pearce, who singled and scored in the first, doubled in the second inning, 2 for 4 on the day. Up with 2 men on and 2 men out in the 8th. Rays trying to add some insurance runs. Fly ball toward right center field. Ellsbury on the run and is there to make the catch. That ball hung up for him and he ran there to grab it. Rays lead 2 and carry a 9-5 lead into the 9th. On to the ninth we go from Tropicana Field. With the Rays leading New York 9-5. The Yankees scoring 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th to close the deficit. And Alex Colomé will enter this game for the Rays, while Xavier Cedeno entered the game in the 8th in what could have been a safe situation for him. Colomé comes in with a 4-run lead, not a save situation, but you can see there what Colomé has done this year in closing games, and he will face Brian McCann, who's pinch hitting for Torreyes.
Well, and the way that the Yankees bats have come alive here in the second half of the game, you treat this like a safe situation. Forget the 4-run lead. This is a safe situation for the Rays.
Yeah, you have McCann, then Rodriguez and Castro due up. 1-1. Cedeno pitched 2/3 of an inning. Got a couple of ground ball outs. McCann 0 for 4 last night. Drove in a run with a fielder's choice ground ball and eventually scored. The cut in the count is 1-2.
Well, Alex Colomé typically coming out for an inning, but in that inning you will see 3 very good pitches. I mean, you saw the slider there. He's got a good explosive fastball, not afraid to use his changeup.
Foul the other way. 1-2. McCann, 6 home runs on the year with 19 runs batted in. Leading off, pinch hitting in the 9th. Popped up foul. That will carry back into the stands. Alex Rodriguez on deck.
Just not fair. A power slider at 90 miles an hour down and in. You got to start it early. You think it's a strike, and then it just disappears on you right to the back foot. Great pitch execution there by Colomé.
Important to get the lead off, man. Alex Rodriguez. Upstairs. Rodriguez struck out in the 7th inning to end that one, leaving the bases loaded. Ground ball 3rd. Waters scoops and makes the throw on the move. Rodriguez is the 2nd out. So 2 up, 2 down in the 9th. As the Rays try to end this one. Find the winning side of the ledger. Starlin Castro, the 2nd baseman, up here now. Castro 0 for 4. That's a strike. Fastball from Colomé. fastball runs it to 0-2.
Challenge fastball right out over the plate with good velocity. One more.
Colomé trying to close it out in a non-save situation. This is about as close as you could be to a save situation and technically have it not be one. Pitch is down. Rays led 9-1. Yankees made it 9-5, and Colomé on here in the ninth, retiring the first two men. And to close this one out and give Matt Moore his second win since the 17th of April. Little tap back to the hill. Takes his time and makes the throw. 1-2-3 go the Yankees against Colomé, and the Rays are winners today. 9-5 the final. 3 up, 3 down in the ninth. Colomé, the fourth pitcher of the day, utilized by the Rays, who pound out 13 hits today. And here are the totals for the Rays: 9 runs, 13 hits, no errors with 7 men left. For New York, 5-12-0 with 9 men left. And Matt Moore will get the win. He's 2-3. Michael Pineda, the losing pitcher, his record drops to 2-6. 3 hours and 15 minutes to play this game before 20,188 on a day in which the Rays had a season's high 9 extra base hits. And it seemed as if they needed them all in this win over New York.
You know what? These division games, we saw it earlier with Boston and Toronto. You just can't take anything for granted. This game looked like a laugher. 9-1, the Rays were scoring in just about every inning. And then all of a sudden, the offense dried up a little bit in the second half. The Yankees came alive, bases loaded, big strikeout by Eddie Romero. I will tell you, this got a lot closer than you'd like, but bottom line is, Rays go home as winners.
And some good things to take out of this game for the Rays, Matt Moore being one of them, and his battery mate, Hank Conger, the other one, who had a great day at the plate. For all of that, let's go to Todd Cowles.
He certainly did, Dwayne. Hank, big day for you. Big day for the team. 9 runs at home and getting Matt Moore a win. You guys probably really needed that the way things have been rolling lately.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I mean, for us, you know, Matty Moore just getting back out there and the throw the way he was. I mean, he was attacking hitters all day long and really getting after it. So that's a plus for us, and that's going to be huge.
How about for you at the plate? 3 extra base hits today. You've been looking for that extra base hit this year. Did it feel good? Did it feel like you were locked in today?
Yeah, it took longer than expected. But is that water? Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the water. Can't get it on the gear, man. No, I'm kidding.
You were just saying it took. You actually had a double earlier, but you popped off the bag, so it took a little longer for you to get that first extra base hit.
Yeah, I mean, the past couple of days the swing's been feeling good. So I mean, the results obviously haven't been where they want to be, but you know, I keep plugging away. Shelly and Ellie, they've both been great, and as far as just staying with an approach, so you know, just kind of build off from here.
Tell us about the swing on the home run. We'll take a look at it here, including your 2 doubles. You get one out of the park here in the 5th.
Yeah, I was just trying to get something in the air. You know, a couple of pitches pulling off here and there. So just trying to see a ball up, put a good swing, obviously, and, you know, felt good running the bases.
You mentioned you got called for popping up off second earlier this year. You got caught stealing today with Headley. For guys who have always had a certain slide throughout their careers, you guys have to learn a new way when the infielders keep the tags on you? I
guess so. I mean, you know, for me, I can't slide head first, so I can't stay on the bag that way. But, you know, it's tough. When you're going in there full speed into a base, it's tough for you to try to really stay on the bag if you're going to try to come up.
Nice win today, and nice job for you, Hank. Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, back to you.
And the Rays are winners 9-5 over the New York Yankees. Full even in this 3-game series and a game apiece. And the same 2 teams square off tomorrow. Jake Odorizzi on the hill for the Rays against Nathan Eovaldi for New York. Our coverage begins at 12:30 tomorrow on Fox Sports Sun. For Brian Anderson and the rest of our crew, Dwayne Stats, hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays Live, the postgame, presented by Checkers, comes your way next.